Hi guys, Michael Abayomi here. So House of the Dragon is back after what has felt like an eternity. And even though it has only been just a little under 2 years since the first season wrapped up, I just have to say that I've been suffering some very serious withdrawal syndrome. So I'm actually glad that we're finally back in Westeros, and as any Game of Thrones fan knows, after the less than stellar final season, a lot of fans actually walked away, but House of the Dragon proved that there was still plenty of stories to be told within that world. House of the Dragon is like the next best thing. So this is a very good time for long-time Game of Thrones fans as well as new House of the Dragon fans, and in this video I'm going to be sharing my thoughts on the premiere episode. Needless to say, there are going to be some spoilers for the episode as well as season 1 of House of the Dragon. So if you haven't seen either, you should probably come back later and check this video then. So the overall theme for this new season seems to be the war between the two sides, which is the Greens and the Blacks. Basically, we have Team Rhaenyra on one side and Team Alicent on the other side. And just looking at all the marketing that was shared during the promotional phase for the season, you can see that they're really trying to make us choose between those two sides. But I just have to say that season 1 didn't really do that much of a good job of making a case for Team Green. Because as it stands right now, I'm firmly on Team Black. I'm firmly Team Rhaenyra because of all the injustice she suffered in the first season. And I'm eager to see her actually get some vengeance finally in this season. But the new episode opens, and the first thing we notice is that we get a new opening sequence, which was a surprise departure from the one from the previous season. This one has more of a fabric theme depicting different battles and moments in the history of Westeros and House Targaryen. I can easily see it growing on me over the course of the season. Keep in mind that the season is going to be a bit truncated because we're only getting 8 episodes this time around, as opposed to the 10 we got in the previous one. But hopefully this wouldn't signal a decline in quality the way we saw with season 7 and season 8 of Game of Thrones. So the new season of House of the Dragon picks up about a week after the last one's events. And just in case you need a bit of a refresher on how that one ended, it pretty much ended with the gut-wrenching death of Lucerys, who was killed by Dragon Vhagar. And this episode opens with Rhaenyra pretty much still mourning the loss of her son, searching for that much needed closure. So we don't really get to spend much time with her. Instead, we have a battle-hungry Daemon who is pretty much eager to start and end the war as quickly as possible. But in terms of highlights for the episode, I think the biggest and most shocking one was discovering that Queen Alicent had hooked up with Criston Cole since the events of the previous season. Initially, when the scene began, I was actually scared, thinking that she was hooking up with Lord Larys instead. I don't know, there's just something about that Lord Larys that makes my skin crawl. He's kind of like Littlefinger, but in a more sinister, more vile, snake-like manner. Like he's a less refined Littlefinger, let me put it that way. And I was actually relieved to see that he wasn't the one hooking up with the queen. And I just have to say that I'm kind of happy for Criston Cole, considering everything he went through in the first season. Because in the first season, he started with this whole lovey-dovey situation with Rhaenyra, only for him to turn to the opposite extreme and become all about vengeance and hateful and everything. But this time around, he seems his character has evolved to a level where he seems a bit more balanced. He seems that he's not driven by that quest for vengeance as much as he was in that previous season, and this was a nice change to see in his characterization. We also see Aegon adjusting to being king, even though some of his judgment is undermined by his hand, Sir Otto Hightower. But just seeing him stepping up to the role, because if you remember how he ended up in the last season, he was pretty much reluctant to be king. He even ran away at a point. So it was nice seeing him at least make an attempt to step up to the plate. But in terms of what I'm sure everybody will be talking about after watching the episode, the defining moment was definitely the gut-wrenching ending, where 2 assassins working under the instructions from Daemon infiltrate the Red Keep with the intention of killing Aemond. Basically, Rhaenyra wants Aemond dead for what he had done to her son. And as the title of the episode suggested, a son for a son, this ends up leading to the death of young Prince Jaehaerys instead. And even though this takes place off screen, it was just a very brutal moment that was like a gut-wrenching slap in the face. It was like the showrunners reminding us that yes, you're back in this world, this brutal world where people get butchered and killed in all manner of horrific ways. But seeing something like that happen to a child, even though it was a character that we didn't really get to spend much time with, is as vile and evil as it gets. And I guess this more or less sets the stage for the rest of the season. Because since both houses are pretty much on a path for all-out war, it is clear that there are going to be a lot of casualties on both sides, and this is the first of many retaliatory blows that is going to be dealt by House Black. So all in all, the episode was pretty much your standard House of the Dragon fare. Like, they pretty much set the standard in the first season, like with the quality they were able to maintain, the fact that it was able to recapture the essence of those early seasons of Game of Thrones. All of that is on display here. We also get the introduction of new characters that look like they'll be having a say in the coming events, and all the chess pieces are being moved into place, and it's looking like this season is going to be filled with some twists, turns, with the potential to even outpace the previous one. Anyway, these are just my thoughts about the first episode of House of the Dragon Season 2. What did you think about that brutal ending or any of the events that took place during the episode? Let me know in the comment section down below. Don't forget to like this video if you enjoyed watching this discussion, or to subscribe to the channel with notifications turned on if you'd like to see more discussions like this in the future. And until the next one, this is Michael, signing off.